Hello, or good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever. Welcome to the first in a series that I'm going to call Depression Hacks, which is all about explaining how I moderate my daily routine to make it match those of others who do not have clinical depression. These are all sort of little tricks and things I've put in place to make sure that I get to where I need to be when I'm supposed to be, that I sort of hold back depression until, or the symptoms of depression until a reasonable time when I can actually deal with them. The first one I want to do is on how I managed to get myself into work for before 9 a.m. every morning. This is something that I imagine a lot of people with depression have suffered with. I have always struggled with getting out of bed and to work on time, and it's only been the last couple of months where I've actually managed to moderate myself well enough to get in usually between 7 and 9 every morning. So the main hack that I use is a distant alarm clock. Now what I used to do was just have my phone or my alarm clock next to me in bed, so that when it went off I could just tap it or swipe it and it would go away. And the problem with that was that it doesn't matter how early I set my alarm, whether it was 6:30, 5:30, whatever, because I didn't move much to turn it off, it basically didn't have any effect on my sleep cycle, and I would just go straight back to sleep. In order to break that sleep cycle, I found I had to do something physical, and didn't need to be much, but once you've broken it, it's much harder to get back into that, and you usually find yourself waking up naturally within the next hour. So what I do is, I'm just going to turn to face this. So I have a classic alarm clock in my kitchen. So this is my kitchen. My bedroom is over there. There's a complete tip, because all of my energy at the moment goes into living. So I have this very tacky metal alarm clock in my kitchen, which I got on Amazon for about a $5, and I set this for between 6:30 and 7 a.m. every day. And this thing is loud and it is horrendously annoying, and my cat hates it, but she's got to live with it. And what I do is I put it next to a mug, and then I put a tea bag in the mug, because being, British, tea is life. So I make sure that there's a tea bag in the mug, and I make sure that there's enough water in the kettle so that I don't have to fill it in the morning. And then when I wake up, I have the option, at least, of making myself a cup of tea straight away. And this thing is so loud that it really does, it penetrates into my mind when I'm in the deepest of sleep. So it usually manifests as something in my dream first, like a fire alarm or something. But eventually it does get to me, and because it's so loud and so annoying, I know it's going to upset my neighbours at that time in the morning, so that makes me get out of bed. And as you can see, it's not that far from my bedroom to my kitchen, but it's enough that I'm exposed to the temperature, I'm exposed to, I have to actually walk, I have to open my eyes, I have to turn on lights, and it helps. And I usually find that even if I don't get up and have tea and breakfast straight away, I do at least, even if I have to spend the next hour and a half getting used to being awake, I still make it into work on time. So I give myself an hour and a half leeway between my first alarm, or the horrible alarm, going off, and the absolute latest that I can afford to set off to get into work on time. So for me, that's approximately 6:30 to 7 o'clock. It doesn't have to be a cup of tea or even a cup of coffee, whatever it is that you feel like you need first thing in the morning. Make it appealing, so put it in your bathroom if you typically have a shower first thing, or Put it next to the TV, so you go and sit next to the TV, put it next to a book so you read, or next to the window if you like looking outside. I actually have a sun lamp as well on a timer, and that's set to go on. Actually, I'll show you that. You're going to have to excuse the mess in my bedroom. That's my LightPod sun lamp, and that is on a timer that turns it on somewhere around 6:15 in the morning, and it goes off around 8:15, which is when I should have left the house anyway. And that means that by the time the horrible alarm clock in my kitchen goes off, there's actually sunlight light in my room. And it stays on for the entire time, so that I find it less easy to go back to sleep. Light boxes like that, they don't work for everybody, but they work for me. And whether you respond better to having maybe like the radio on or something, just to keep you from drifting back into that sort of deep sleep, just something to stop it. I mean, I have the added bonus of a cat that gets really hungry. I usually feed her as soon as I get up to turn off the horrible alarm, just so she'll leave me alone. But what I find is, yeah, if I'm having a good day, I get up and I have my tea and my breakfast, and if I'm not, then I get to go back to sleep, or back to bed at least, for about an hour and a half. But it's not between having already gotten out of bed and having the sun lamp on. I find that I never go back fully to sleep, and by the time I need to leave the house, I'm ready to go. So whatever sort of combination of that you feel like you need to try. I mean, I know my situation's that, you know, I live in a one-bed flat. I can hear my kitchen from my room. If you don't have that, or if you share with people who are going to get annoyed, maybe make it something in the bathroom or in the hallway just outside your room. I mean, especially if you share with somebody, it's going to definitely annoy them, so you're going to want to get out of bed and turn it off. Yeah, this is what works for me, and it has had me getting to work on time solidly for the last couple of months, so I'm hoping that will continue. I don't think there's anything else I do specifically other than getting a good night's sleep, which I'll go over probably in another video, because there's a fair few things I do for that. Yeah, that's, if that helps you, I'm glad. Definitely helps me. Alright, bye.